Hi, my name is Mari Devine, and today my presentation is going to be on the role of emergency management in mitigating climate change. So to begin this presentation, I think it's important to first define exactly what emergency management and climate change is. So according to the Federal Emergency Management Association, emergency management is the managerial function charged with creating the framework within which communities reduce vulnerability to hazards and cope with disasters. Next, the definition of climate change said by the United Nations says that climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. And while this definition is kind of basic, it encompasses exactly what climate change is. So not only that, but climate change itself presents a slew of its own challenges, just some of those being heavy precipitation, heat waves, drought, and extreme flooding, which we have seen all across the globe in recent years, from the heat waves in Spain this past summer to the wildfires in Colorado and California here in the United States. So how can emergency management mitigate these challenges? How can we implement the principles of emergency management in order to help prevent the challenges that climate change comes with? So the principles of emergency management are prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. And so I believe that by using these principles and applying them towards a climate change perspective, that is how we will be able to mitigate the outcomes of climate change. So to begin with the prevention and mitigation of these challenges. So first, we need to implement things like research about what climate change is, how exactly it's going to affect everybody across the globe and the span of its reach, construction of things like levees or dams to prevent flooding, better warning system for communities so that they can be better warned before a disaster hits due to climate change, and then things like building codes to make sure that buildings are stronger construction and can withstand disasters that climate change presents. Next, we have preparedness. So things like the emergency management principles of emergency planning, training, and educating the public. These are all extremely important because if there is proper training and education, then the public, elected officials, officers, everybody in communities will know how to better prepare for and then recover from a disaster due to climate change. Then comes the actual response. So this part is really down to the communities themselves and emergency responders. Things like resources, equipment, and people, and then giving expert advice will very much help mitigate the disasters of climate change. Then comes recovery. So with this comes the collecting and distributing of goods, government relief payments, and then assisting with reconstruction. And so by doing all of these things, we as a society will be able to better prepare for and mitigate climate change responses by incorporating the emergency management principles into the fight against climate change here across the globe.